Okay, so Amanda Seals went on to Club Shay Shay and had a conversation. I think it was like 3 hours long with Shannon Sharpe. I wanted to talk specifically about one clip that went viral where Amanda Seals was kind of schooling Shannon Sharpe about her own experience dealing with racism in school and shit and auditions and stuff. So let's talk about it because Shannon was really annoying me.
You see it in my headlock. People lean on these niggas dreadlocks. If I duck for book, my eaters.
Okay, so y'all got me talking about Amanda Seals and stuff. I was just like, but Shannon, oh my gosh. Shannon really annoyed me. Shannon really annoyed me. So let's start talking about the part of the conversation we're going to get into. So Shannon starts this part out like just talking to Amanda saying, I bet there were a lot of parent-teacher conferences with you. Just implying that, Amanda talks a lot, she's a lot, so, and, as a kid, whatever. So just implying what he's implying. And she was just like, essentially, she was like, I know what you're implying, but it wasn't for that. She was like, the teachers didn't like that I stuck up for other kids and that I corrected them. She corrected this white teacher who was talking about Aboriginal art from a very ignorant standpoint. And Amanda clocked her teacher as racist. And it makes sense to me. It makes sense that she makes that appraisal because she was the student there and she was a black girl experiencing her teacher, girl. So of course she clocked it, as one does when you're navigating this world as a black person. It's just like, girl, I need to clock stuff immediately. I need to clock it so that I can avoid harm, right? So Amanda clocked her teacher as racist, essentially, and Shannon did not like that. He started with this whole, well, do you think that your white teacher would have taken it differently if a white kid corrected her in front of the class instead of a black girl, instead of you, right? And to me, I'm just like, that's such a dumbass question, right? Because if Amanda already made the assessment after having been with her teacher for however long that this person is racist, right? Like, you answer the question then, Shannon, do you think that a racist would rather be corrected by a white kid or a black one? Like, why are you asking me this dumbass question? Amanda answered the question by saying, I'm not here to say whether or not racist or not, whatever. I'm just telling you what my experience is. This response, though, because she was kind of over it. Like, this is very much like, I'm just talking about my experience. She tried to stay in that lane of, well, okay, girl, I'm just talking about my experience. You don't have to read too much into it. But Shannon kept pushing that. She was like, girl, yes, of course it's racist by the end of this interaction. So she said that she's just here to talk about her experience. She said that her teacher was the same one that, when some other white kid admitted to stealing something, the teacher accused Amanda anyway, even though the white kid admitted to stealing it, the teacher sent both of them to the principal's office anyway. And then Amanda broke it down even further for Shannon's silly ass, and she was just like, at this time I'm in Florida, one of the most racist states in the 90s, and I'm speaking to you about my experience with this teacher. Like, why do you feel compelled to defend her? And my thing is just like, yeah, girl, put two and two together. To Shannon, I'm just like, girl, put two and two together. If you in the South, you in Florida, it's the 89, 90s, it's the 90s, girl, and you are experiencing this as a young black girl. Yeah, of course that's fucking racist. Like, what are you talking about? Shannon keeps saying that he's not defending these racist kids, these people who are racist to Amanda. He keeps saying that he's not defending them, but to me, that's exactly what he's doing. He said to defend them, he said, most adults feel some type of way when kids correct them. This is not unique. Like, basically, this is not unique to race. This is not a white, black or white thing. And I'm just like, first of all, let's just get this out the way. If you're an adult and can't stand getting corrected by a kid when you're clearly wrong, I think that shit is corny. That's just, a side note. But second of all, I think that Shannon acts as if students who are black aren't punished by school systems and administrators with a much heavier hand than their white counterparts. And all he would have to do to find that information out is to do a Google search. But then at the same time, people like him act like, well, race can't possibly play into the reason why black students get, experience these at higher rates than their white counterparts. People like him, that's how they act like. They act like race can never play a role in these dynamics that, like, people like Amanda were sitting there literally experiencing, telling us about their experience right there. You see what I'm saying? Amanda talked about she moved on, right? Because she was over it, right? Like, she was over it. She was like, okay, whatever. Like, we can move on. But then she started talking about, dancing early on in her life. And she said that in 1989, she auditioned for Disney or something. While she was there, she endured like overt racism. She said she was called an N-word. She talked about her experience being bullied. She said that she was told, "You're only here because you're black. You can't really dance. You're just here because you're black. Don't get any ideas." She said, "That's what I was being told by other children. Does that suffice as racism to you, or do you want to call it something else? Is that just kids being mean?" And like I said, when you're speaking to personalities like Shannon, of course, nothing will suffice as blatant racism. And then lo and behold, that's exactly what Shannon said. He was like, well, it is just kids being mean. He said, as a child, you never said anything derogatory. You're just this model citizen as a child. There's just children. If grown adults are telling you that, it's one thing, but they're kids. And like I said, first of all, niggas who talk like Shannon would say this, would be this defensive about adults and also kids. Like, they would make excuses for adults and kids. And also, in my head, I'm like, okay, if a kid says something derogatory and the derogatory thing is racist, then guess what? The kid was being racist. The kid was saying something racist. So what's so difficult to understand about that shit? Then Amanda asked him, so you don't have a problem with the kids who are cursing out Ruby Bridges and the Lil Rock 9? Like, you think that was just them being kids? And then he's like, oh, well, they're just repeating what their parents say. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that could be the case, but that's still racist as hell. Like, what are you talking about? And then Shannon comes back with, well, they don't know it's wrong. They don't know that it's wrong. And then Amanda responds and says, well, what about the children receiving it? Like, what about, like, I'm 10 years old. I know that it's wrong. I'm receiving it. What about the children receiving it? And to me, that's the whole point. Some of you nignogs are stuck in this yes'm. Yeah, well, they just don't know no better ass mindset without taking into serious consideration what the victims had to endure. It's nignoggery. It's nignoggery because, Shannon, when you're hearing someone describe their experience, with racism, Amanda sitting right in front of you, describing what she went through as a kid in school, being called the N-word. That's like, it's crazy that your first instinct wasn't to say, oh my goodness, Amanda, how did you navigate that? Like, that must have been hard to endure as a child. I mean, it's hard to endure as an adult hearing that, but it must have been way crazier as a child. Why was that not your first instinct? Why was that not your first reaction? You know what I mean? Like, you're hearing someone describe all that and you immediately, y'all immediate response is to jump to devil's advocate, jump to defending the racists. Well, honestly, you nignogs defend anybody who has what you see as power, to be honest. Y'all quickly defend people with a lot of money, even if they do something heinous. Y'all quickly defend a famous name. That's your first instinct, instead of like making an effort to get the actual facts or caring about the actual facts. Y'all defend whiteness. Y'all defend whiteness too. So I like that Amanda says in the end, I'm here, like, it's my experience. I was experiencing it. Okay, y'all was ignorant. Y'all, this white kid didn't know no better, but I was still being called an N-word. It was still racism that I experienced. She was like, the valid part of this is my experience. I'm not here to protect those people because it's irrelevant. So I just saw this clip circulating online. I'm just like, why do y'all knickknacks talk like this? And to the point where, do you see what I'm saying? To the point where you will watch someone talk about their sexual assault. You'll see someone talk about them experiencing racism. You'll see someone saying like, oh, well, I'm really slaving hard out here in this job. I think it would be fair if we were paid a living wage. Y'all will see people speak like that and be like, well, no, what do you mean? Well, what do you mean? And I want y'all to take a moment and think about why you jump to, devil's advocate, why you jump to defending the people who are in power, the people who are oppressing, and not the ones who are experiencing the bullshit. That's why I want y'all to take them, put them thinking caps on, put something on, girl. Take that black spray off that y'all get at the barbers. Take that shit off and put a fucking thinking cap on so we can be free. My God. So we can be free. Damn, I'm so tired of you knickknacks. Anyway, thank y'all so much for watching. Love you so much, and make sure that you have a good goddamn evening.
And that's why you can't take me, you hate me. I don't want your nigga, you crazy. That nigga too lazy. I need me a nigga who can tame me. Coming through and make your nigga switch.